For worse on KBC Channel 1.
The recent suspension of USAID programs is likely to have profound impact, particularly for HIV patients.
Funding for staff and for the services which was being paid for was coming from there. This is something that we need to absorb ASAP if we don't want another catastrophe.
Like I say, the gains have been good. We've been having less and less infections, but once without treatment, things are going to be thick.
There were side clinics along the long trips to be able to help the people. All this was under the PEPFAR and it is no longer there.
Sasa wewe uko na shida ya macho na mwenye anakuwa pia ako na shida ya macho, mtasaidiana aje?
Being the fact that nyinyi wawili hamuoni, mtamanuva aje?
Wewe ambaye ni mlemavu kwa hapo nyumbani, wacha kuona ulemavu wako. Kama kuko na kitu unaweza fanya, tokea tufanye.
I can get you to Kai's good side.
Wewe unaamini kiwa swara aje?
Really, you can be that careless even after what you've gone through.
I think we need to cool off.
This obsession you have with Tekara is going to get you killed.
Your daughter is more trouble than you realize.
I forbid you from going to that old man's compound.
Unaona hii tabia yako ya babako imekufanya mpaka you are not even thinking straight.
Please don't try bring a dead man into this conversation.
I didn't think you would have the guts to face me after your betrayal.
Yeah, but you didn't give me any choice.
You were hired to do one thing.
Call me one more time and I'll cut ties with you.
Things are getting tight.
Tell your daughter.
Try me, Tekara.
Why? Moto.
We'll be having a conversation of, is there love in the 21st century? Munaeka standards zenye hata your own parents hawajamit. So how do you expect this son of Adam to achieve some standards?
Love is an illusion that becomes reality when there is chemistry of personality. Shortcuts. Sometimes shortcuts are the longest cuts. Kuna kitu inaitwa process. God allowing it to kuwa na 3 P's. 1, promise, 2, process, then provision. Na hapa kwa process, most of us tunapotelea.
In the 21st century, generations may change, but there are Asian patterns that will never change, irrespective of a generational change.
We're here to meet the couple. Come, I'm excited.
Tukulete wale wasichana wa airport wa nini alafu.
We met in 2017.
Yeah.
Ukisikia nimelanda si unanichuna tu. So your time nimeamua mimi na serve. Nimekuwa heartbroken right, left and center. Niko like mimi niko like Yesu.
But tukiendelea kuenda, she comes back and asks me, so unajua amefika home, nipatie namba. Niko like wewe unanipenda, wewe unanitaka wewe. Niko like wewe unanitaka wewe.
But that was the first time I ever gave my number to a lady.
That night we speak for a very long time.
a very long time. So I'm like, okay, let's go, let's see. So when he dropped the manifesto, I'm like, oh, there it goes. There it goes. I wasn't ready. And I told him, come on a date 10, God.
Yeah.
Senior Bishop Sitak.
My name is Alisha Wanjiru from Greenview Schools, Kamulu, and my hobby is swimming and singing. It's never that hard. You just have to never give up and have someone to encourage you.
One of the benefits of reading books or reading stories is that they can help you travel to any part of the world without leaving your seat.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no.
Juma hili kwenye mkulima tutamfuga mbuzi wa maziwa.
Maziwa ya mbuzi iko na nutrients mingi compared to maziwa ya ng'ombe. Ukiangalia mbuzi wakati zinazaliwa ziko na nguvu ya kutembea wakati zimezaliwa. So calcium content yake ni mzuri hata kwa watoto wenye wanazaliwa na pia wale watu wajawazito na wamama wazee.
Kisha nguruwe. Usikose kujumuika nasi siku ya Jumamosi saa 10:30 upate uhondo kamili.
I can get you to Kai's good side.
Wewe unaona nini kiwa swara aje?
Really, you can be that careless even after what you've gone through.
I think we need to cool off.
This obsession you have with Tekara is going to get you killed.
Your daughter is more trouble than you realize.
I forbid you from going to that old man's compound. Unaona hii tabia yako ya babako imekufanya mpaka you are not even thinking straight. Please don't try bring a dead man into this conversation.
I didn't think you would have the guts to face me after your betrayal.
Yeah, but you didn't give me any choice.
You were hired to do one thing.
Call me one more time and I'll cut ties with you.
Things are getting tight.
Tell your daughter.
Try me, Tekara.
Why? Moto.
Tonight, the country pauses with a heavy heart as we mourn the loss of former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Wanyonyi Chebukati. Tributes poured since early morning and more continue to come in. We've got detailed reports of his life, times, and impact of his work. This is Prime Edition, top on Easy Friday.
Once the family has also had time to talk to the doctors, then we'll be able to explain to the nation what may have caused his death.
Morning Wafula Chebukati, former IEBC chairman, dies aged 63 with his family asking for privacy. Stepping back in time, the little-known's life's journey of departed Electoral Commission's chairperson. In search of light, Meru Governor Kawira Mungaza in court to challenge the legality of her impeachment.
kabla ya Disemba mwaka huu, nyinyi watu wa hapa mtakuwa na titles zenu na hakuna tena mambo ya kusumbuliwa na sijui ADC na nani na wale wengine wote.
And President Ruto promises title deeds to ADC land squatters in Kilifi. Thank you for choosing KBC Channel 1 to inform you tonight. This is a Friday. I'm Doreen Arange, and Wangashi is our sign language interpreter. Now, the family of the late former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati has called on Kenyans to accord them privacy and allow them to mourn their kin peacefully. The late Chebukati died Thursday night while undergoing treatment at a Nairobi hospital.
Former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati is said to have been ailing for a while and succumbed at the age of 63. Addressing the press on Friday, family spokesperson Eric Nyongesa urged the public to refrain from speculation surrounding his death, saying they will issue an official statement once they have finalized key decisions.
He had been unwell and he was in hospital. He passed on just about 11 last night, and the family is yet to make a decision on whether they will do a post-mortem. Those are part of the communication I say we'll do tomorrow. So once the family has made a decision on whether they want to undertake a post-mortem, and once the family has also had time to talk to the doctors, then we'll be able to explain to the nation what may have caused his death.
President William Ruto led the country in mourning the immediate former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Wafula Chebukati, terming him as a principled and diligent leader who served the nation with integrity. Retired President Uhuru Kenyatta remembered Chebukati as one who played a pivotal role in shaping the nation's electoral landscape, often navigating intricate challenges with remarkable resilience. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula commended Chebukati as an eminent jurist, steadfast defender of the rule of law who embodied the dignity and integrity of the legal profession. Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Musalia Mudavadi said he will always remember Chebukati as a man of resilience and wisdom. Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru praised Chebukati's leadership as one that was instrumental in strengthening Kenya's democratic processes and upholding the integrity of the electoral system. The Law Society of Kenya eulogized the late former IEBC chair as a distinguished legal practitioner, public servant, and a committed member of the legal fraternity. The IEBC fraternity has also eulogized Chebukati, saying he was a great leader who was full of humor, listened keenly on important issues affecting the delivery of the commission mandate, and a man measured in words who truly understood the sensitivity of his office. The late Wafula Chebukati, a lawyer by profession, served as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission from 2017 until his retirement in January 2023. He was the first IEBC chairperson to successfully complete the 6-year constitutional term. Jacqueline Mashara for Easy Friday.
Kenyans are still reacting to the death of former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati. While some are praising his leadership for upholding electoral integrity, others argue that he leaves behind a checkered career.
Chebukati alisimama kama mwanaume wakati ambapo Kenya ilikuwa inahitaji uamuzi, na akafanya uamuzi wa busara. Akaamua, na ndio maana sisi tuko na utulivu Kenya.
Mheshimiwa Chebukati wanasema yeye alichangia sana hii serikali kuingia kwa kiti. Na hii serikali imekuwa na challenges zake ambazo hakuna mwananchi ambaye hajui. Mimi kama Gen Z naomboleza Gen Z wenzangu wamepotea ama wamefariki kwa hii serikali. Na yeye alichangia mahali pakubwa kwa hiyo serikali kuingia.
Wafula Chebukati tunamkumbuka kama shujaa ambaye alileta amani kwa kusimama imara, kwa kufuata haki. Kama angekuwa mtu wa kuyumba yumba, angetumbukiza nchi katika vita.
Chebukati amekufa, mheshimiwa rais. Tunaomba tuletee kiongozi mwingine Mluya. Sana sana tunaomba huyo kiongozi atoke Shinyalu. Hata sisi watu wa Shinyalu tupate kwa mabadiliko, mheshimiwa rais.
Alikuwa mwanafunzi mwenye nidhamu ya juu. Alikuwa na mwelekeo, na wakati alikuwa anapata nafasi ya kuongea, anaongea kitu ambacho ako na hakika. Kama wakati wa mijadala hakuwa mwepesi kujaribu kunena, lakini wakati akitoa hoja zake inakuwa ile hoja ya jumla ya kumalizia na kufungia.
Wafula Chebukati retired as Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson in January 2023, along with Commissioners Boya Molu and Abdi Guliye. He conducted the 2017 general elections and repeat poll ordered by the Supreme Court and the 2022 elections. It is, however, in the 2022 general election that he found himself at the center of controversy that left his commission sharply split over the presidential results. The famous Cherera 4 rejected the results, even as Chebukati and allied commissioners went ahead to announce President William Ruto as the winner of the 2022 presidential poll.
Wafula Chebukati took the helm of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IBC) in January 2017, 7 months to the general election. Appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta for a non-renewable 6-year term, Chebukati and his team of commissioners replaced Isaac Hassan and his commissioners, who had opted to resign after a persistent street protest staged by the Raila Odinga-led opposition, who declared the lack of confidence in the electoral body, demanding they exit office before the elections. Chebukati, Vice Chair Consolata Nkadha, Commissioners Boya Molu, Rosalina Kombe, Paul Kurgat, Margaret Wanjala, and Abdi Guliye would then debut in conducting the August 2017 polls that announced Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto as duly elected president and deputy president respectively to serve for a second term. Chebukati and his team would, however, plunge the country into an electoral turbulence after Chief Justice David Maraga-led Supreme Court declared the election as null and void after a successful petition by Raila Odinga and his running mate Kalonzo Musyoka of National Super Alliance NASA.
The presidential election held on 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
After invalidating the election results for legalities and irregularities, the Supreme Court ordered the Chebukati-led commission to conduct a repeat election that would become a second poll under his chairmanship. Although Raila and Kalonzo declared their withdrawal from the race, Chebukati announced Uhuru and Ruto as winners and handed them certificates at the Bomas of Kenya. Chebukati and his commissioners would again sit and prepare for the 2022 general elections, which became their third and last that they would oversee. The polling stations transmitted real-time results to the National Tallying Center at the Bomas of Kenya, where Kenyans would have access via giant screens and also remotely through the IBC website. As the presidential election returning officer, Chebukati declared Kenya Kwanza Alliance candidate William Ruto as the duly elected president. But this was preceded by chaotic scenes at the Bomas of Kenya. Raila Odinga led Azimio la Umoja coalition were opposed to the declaration of the final tally before all the results from the 290 constituencies could be relayed. In the first attempt to declare the results, Chebukati was dramatically ejected, prompting police to come to his rescue. He, however, managed to come back under tight security to announce the winners. But as Chebukati declared the results, accompanied by Commissioners Boya Molu and Abdi Guliye, his Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera, Commissioners Irene Masit, Francis Wanderi, and Justice Nyang'aya were addressing the nation at a parallel press conference. Surprisingly, dubbed Cherera 4, they rejected the presidential results, saying no one had attained the required threshold of 50% plus one of the total votes cast.
The commissioners were not aware of the cumulative results as the day goes by. So 2 days to the end, it was not given out. So you could not clearly say that we have tallied 10 million. And this 10 million, this is how it is distributed.
This reinforced the Azimio coalition petition lodged at the Supreme Court. However, after hearing the case, Chief Justice Martha Koome and Supreme Court judges unanimously dismissed the petition and termed it hot air. Days later, after the president was sworn in at Kasarani Stadium, pressure would be mounted on the Cherera 4 to resign for allegedly conspiring to scatter the presidential results. Juliana Cherera, Justus Nyang'aya, and Francis Wanderi would later succumb to pressure and tender their resignations. In December 2023, Irene Masit, however, remained standing and opted to face the Agri Muchelule-led tribunal. After making her case, the tribunal found her guilty of gross misconduct and recommended her removal. Months later, Chebukati, Commissioners Abdi Gulie and Boya Molu exited office in January 2023 after their term ended. Chebukati reportedly fell ill at unknown time and has been seeking treatment until his demise.
Prior to his appointment as chair of the electoral body in 2017, not much was known of Wafula Chebukati. Let's take a closer look at his journey to the helm of IEBC, spanning from the bar and politics.
Born in December 1961, Chebukati attended Lenana High School before enrolling at the University of Nairobi School of Law, where he earned a bachelor's degree in law. He then founded the Koto and Associate Advocates law firm in 2006 that specialized in corporate governance, corporate and commercial laws. While running the sole proprietorship law firm, Chebukati also tried his luck in politics. Under the Orange Democratic Movement party ticket, he contested the Saboti constituency parliamentary seat in the 2007 general election and came second behind Eugene Wamalwa. He continued running his sole proprietorship law firm until January 2017, when he resigned to take his appointment by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta as the chair of IEBC, succeeding Ahmed Isaac Hassan. Chebukati retired in January 2023, becoming the first IEBC chairperson to complete the 6-year constitutional term. In recognition of his work, he was awarded the Elder of the Order of the Golden Heart, Kenya's second highest civilian honor, by President William Ruto in January 2023. Maria Yambo reporting for Easy Friday.
In addition to overseeing the 2017 elections and the repeat poll of the same, as well as the 2022 general elections, Chebukati will clearly be remembered as the first IEBC chairperson who successfully completed his 6-year constitutional term. May his soul rest in peace. Moving on, President William Ruto has promised squatters of the controversial ADC land in Magarini, Kilifi County, that they will be issued with ownership documents of the land they are currently occupying. Speaking during the burial of Senate Speaker Amason Kingi's father, Kingi Mwarua, President Ruto said his administration is keen on resolving land disputes in the coastal region, and the ADC land will soon be subdivided.
President William Ruto was in Kamele village in Kilifi County for the burial of Senate Speaker Amason Kingi's father, Kingi Mwarua Mkweha. The president declared Kenyans living on the controversial ADC land will soon be given ownership documents after the land is subdivided.
Hapa mnasumbuka na mambo ya ADC, nataka niwaeleze Mheshimiwa Kingi tayari alikuja akanitembelea, tukaongea haya mambo. Nikaamurisha watu wa provincial administration, najua kuna hapa regional commissioner, tayari haya mambo yote yamewekwa pamoja. Kabla ya Disemba mwaka huu, nyinyi watu wa hapa mtakuwa na titles zenu na hakuna tena mambo ya kusumbuliwa na sijui ADC na nani na wale wengine wote.
Senate Speaker Amason Kingi said the coastal leadership had already compiled the report on absentee landlords and handed over to the Ministry of Lands for action.
Wewe ni mtu ambaye husikiza na kutekeleza. Mambo ya mashamba ile report ya zile shamba za kununua ili wakazi wa pwani wapate makazi. Ile report iko mikononi mwa permanent secretary wa ardhi tayari.
Kilifi leaders led by Governor Gideon Mongaro submitted to the president that all residents of Adu and Kamele villages, including Speaker Amason Kingi's family, were squatters in the controversial ADC land.
Na ukitoka hapa rais, kwa sababu utakuwa juu ya ndege, wewe angalia kama dakika 10 ama 15 kutoka hapo ukienda Mombasa, utajua hapa kunaishi wananchi. Si vile unaambiwa ni ADC, sijui hakuna watu. Polisi wako wanaishi hapa, madio wana maofisi hapa, machifu wote wana maofisi hapa. Tunasema tu watu wa Adu, Mheshimiwa Rais, wapewe title deed zao.
Na mimi jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba tulijaribu kufuata hii mambo, mimi na speaker na huyu ndugu yangu Michael, tukaenda mpaka office of president wakati wa ule mhula mwingine, lakini haikufua dafu, kwa sababu kulikuwa na wale tunawaita namna gani, wale wanyakuzi wa mashamba, wale watu ambao wanafanya mambo ya corruption, walikuwa tayari wameingia, wameshakata masehemu, na wakakata mpaka wakaingia, wakakata mpaka ndani ya nyumba ya huyu mzee aliyelala hapa.
President Ruto promised he would complete the Bamba-Ganze Kilifi road, which he says is very vital for the opening up trade in the coastal region. Yeshuke Washira, Easy Friday.
The European Union election follow-up mission is warning that the delay in the reconstitution of Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission risks compromising the overall preparation of the 2027 general election. The group says that with less than 3 years to the ballot, Kenya is yet to reform the electoral process as per the recommendations of the European Union election observers.
While discussions on electoral reforms in the country may have commenced among various authorities, including the National Dialogue Committee, processing of bills, and the establishment of the IEBC selection panel, the general implementation of electoral reforms in preparation for a transparent and inclusive 2027 elections is slow.
My strong feeling is that understanding of recommendations on Kenyan side is very strong. However, the reality is that after 2.5 years, still we cannot report tangible progress.
EU election follow-up mission, which has been in the country since the 2nd of February to assess the electoral reforms process and the implementation status of recommendations it offered after the 2022 general election, says the pace is worrying.
How fast those recommendations will be implemented, because the next elections are just in 2.5 years, and recommendations that require a legal reform, they need more time. And recommendations that require administrative actions, they do not need much time, but they need the Electoral Commission in place.
The mission offered 21 recommendations, 7 termed priority, and include providing sufficient funds to IEBC for continuous voter education, improvements in electoral technology through audits and consultations, operationalization of the Election Campaign Financing Act to regulate campaign expenditures, detailing legal definition of hate speech, removing Section 22 and 23 of Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act, procedures for managing staff and flow of information at Starling Center for Consistency and Efficiency.
I can point to the issue of hate speech. The NCIC has proposed a bill to the Parliament. It's been laid, I believe, before the National Assembly for consideration, and that includes a provision to revise the definition of hate speech in law. So that's a very encouraging sign in relation to that particular matter.
While condoling with Kenyans on the death of the former IEBC boss Wafula Chebukati, the mission regretted that the appointment of the chairperson and a commission, which was one of the priorities, has not been achieved yet. The country is halfway through the electoral cycle.
Because many other processes depend on IEBC, on chairmanship, and also, as we discussed with many interlocutors, almost everybody stress out this point that they are ready to cooperate, but still they are pending. That this cooperation is pending because it needs clear leadership.
while urging the government to expedite the electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 general elections. The mission stressed the need to build trust in IEBC work and strengthen its independence. Kamchemenza for Easy Friday.
20 minutes past the top of the hour. We are due for our first break. Plenty more still continues to shape the news tonight. Stay with us.
Tomato, kashamba, kajuja, mali safi. Worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings na kamejiset kwa *570# na tushinde.com. Na ukiwahi unaongezewa 1 million Kenyan shillings ya kujenga kwa shamba yako. Na bado kuna nini hiyo side nyingine? Hapa ndio mwisho. Weekly draw ya chapa bado iko na zawadi pia ni za kukuinua. Iko Probox new model, iko Master Demio. Cheza mara kadhaa na uweze kujipatia entry tickets kibao na uboost chance yako ya kujishindia kwenye draw zetu. Kila kona imejazwa kwa *570# option 2, 3 na 4 na tushinde.com na kwako ni kuinuka na Lotomato.
Jumapili hii tarehe 23 mwezi huu wa pili, Nabii Steven Juma anakualika kwenye ibada ya urejesho.
Kuna watu walinyang'anywa kibali, kuna watu walinyang'anywa pesa, kuna watu walinyang'anywa biashara.
Nikwambie kitu, kuacha Mungu atimise maono yako kwa jina la Yesu.
Ibada hii itaanza mwendo wa saa 1 asubuhi. Kumbuka, kanisa lapatikana Komarok Stage 18 nyuma ya Ruby's Petrol Station kando ya Accurate Schools.
Welcome back. And Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza has challenged the legality of her impeachment by the Meru County Assembly. Through her legal team, the embattled governor argued before Justice Bahati Mwamuye that the impeachment process was conducted in violation of a valid court order barring the motion. The High Court heard that the absence of a legislation governing the removal of governors creates ambiguity, allowing for politically driven impeachments.
Mwangaza's lawyers, led by Elisha Ongoya, Edgar Musira and Elias Mutuma, told the court that the impeachment was invalid as the Meru High Court's order had neither been overturned nor challenged before the appellate court.
The court ruled, and I quote, "The upshot of the above is that the impeachment process is halted pending my ruling, and since this is a matter of public interest, the rulings will be delivered on Monday, the 29th of July, 2024.
They accused the County Assembly Speaker for defying the court orders and proceeding with the motion, despite both the Speaker and the clerk being duly served with the injunction.
That the orders of the High Court of Meru of 24th July 2024 and 29th July 2024. The Governor explicitly draws the attention of the senators.
The court also heard that the governor was denied the right to be heard by the Senate during the impeachment proceedings, further undermining the integrity of the process. Governor Kawira Mwangaza's trouble began shortly after her inauguration, with the first impeachment attempt occurring just barely 2 months into her term.
It is clear that the removal from office of a governor cannot be hinged on just any other misdemeanor or wrongful acts.
The hearing will resume on Monday, February 24th, 2025. Embattled Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza is back in court challenging the validity of her impeachment by the County Assembly. Her legal team urges the process violated a court order and denied her a fair hearing. Reporting for Easy Friday at Milimani Law Courts, I'm Letua Deborah.
Nurses and clinical officers under the Universal Health Coverage Program in Mombasa County took to the streets in a peaceful procession, calling out to the government to heed their demands if they are to return to work. While addressing journalists outside the Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital before embarking on their peaceful procession to the governor's office, the Kenya National Union of Nurses Mombasa Branch Secretary General Bencliffe Agala highlighted that among their demands include employment terms to be on permanent and pensionable and not contractual, their gratuity paid, and job redesignation.
Right now, we have a mission, and our mission is conversion to permanent pensionable, payment of gratuity, and job registration.
We can't even go for further training. We cannot get loans because when you go to seek maybe a loan, you want to develop yourself, the banks will always check whether you are employed in permanent and pensionable or you have enough security to guarantee their repayment of their loans.
Employees need to adapt to changes in the workplace in order to sustain productivity. This was the rallying call by former technical operators at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, who noted how they surmounted the challenges and the milestone transformations from analog to digital broadcasting.
At a jubilant event held at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, 5 retired senior supervisors from the technical department, namely Esther Mutie, Elijah Kibira, John Miano, Peter Nganga, and Philip Mutua, could not hide their joy.
I'm falling short of words. I've really seen a supportive family and KBC. I'm glad. I'm grateful. Even when I go out, please, we continue with the brotherhood.
Tumefanya kazi na nyinyi mzuri, all that time I've been with you. Alafu naomba Mungu aende akawa bless sana. Na wale wengine pia Mungu aonekanie, mtumikie hii shirika kaa nyumbani yenu.
Former colleagues praised their outstanding contributions over the years, reflecting on the great memories shared.
I really just want to appreciate and acknowledge that you went over and above to meet the needs of a fast-paced newsroom.
When I supervised them, I never ran after them. They did their work without supervision.
My message to all of us who are remaining, that we follow the footsteps of Miano, Nganga, Mutua, Madam Esther, and Kibira, to ensure that whatever we do it well and in God's blessings.
I believe that they have taken time to train the people that are leaving behind so that we don't experience gap. And I also hope that we have put plans in place to ensure that as you move out there, you continue with the good work that you have been doing in other areas.
I want to thank you for serving this corporation for all those years. All your adulthood, you have served this corporation. It's only God who can pay you.
The retirees cited the significant evolution of the media industry from analog to digital broadcasting as a reawakening experience.
Kulingana vile teknolojia inakuja, imetubidi tuwe digital hata sisi na tumefaulu. Mwanzo ni kupenda ile kazi tunafanya na kukubali wakati wowote ule ni wakati wa kusoma.
The longest serving of them was Esther Mutie, who ventured into a male-dominated field 38 years ago.
Nilipopelekwa TV Center, unasikia ilikuwa kozi ya wanaume. So people were wondering huyu amekuja kufanya nini. Na wakanipatia kazi hapo ati ile rahisi ya kusungusha wale mlikuwa siku hizo captions wao na cardboard. Alafu unasungusha hapo mbele ya kamera.
Discipline, diligence, and building meaningful relationships were their strengths during their decades of service.
Be disciplined and get knowledge. Yeah, whichever place you are in. This is what will make you be of value.
They encouraged the remaining staff to make use of the knowledge they had imparted and not hesitate to seek their advice when stuck. Christine Matunda, for Easy Friday.
Indeed, we wish the 5 retirees well. Moving on, plans are underway to establish Nyeri County as a Scout city following the signing of a partnership deal with the Kenya Scouts Association. Under the deal, the founder's graveside, Lord Baden Powell, and his residents, fondly referred to as Paktsu, are to be conferred International Scout Site status, a move Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga lauded, saying it will open the county to more tourist inflows. Kenya's Scout Association is ranked first in Africa, boasting 4.4 million members.
And we also urge that just like there is WSP, that is the WASP, the World Parliamentary Scouts Union, it is time we introduced scouting per se in the Council of Governors so that it is also understood. And I, as the Vice Chair, now will use that position to work very closely with the scouting movement so that our governors, the 47 of them, are even sensitized on this matter so that considering they have the funds, they are able to channel some towards the scouting movement. Otherwise, I want to really appreciate that you continue to consider Nyeri the mecca of scouting, and we will do everything to ensure we get there.
In the process, we will get so many thousands of tourists coming to Nyeri and indeed our country. In the process, I was telling our good governor that yes, we will raise money, good chapa I call it, for the purpose of promoting not only tourism, but even working together so that we can put up an international center, Power Center, international center of international refuge. Yeah, this one, you can see how it is. It is doable as long as we work with others.
By the left, to your right, forward, march.
And the Ministry of Interior and National Administration now says that Kenyans will in future be automatically issued with identity cards and turning 18 years old based on data collection from birth. While defending the abolishment of waiting for applicants in the northern Kenya region, Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen noted that the new approach, which includes collecting data from birth, is meant to address the security gaps. This and other stories in the County News Roundup.
The Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, after meeting with senior officers from the ministry to review their half-term progress at Lake Naivasha Simba Lodge, said that vetting of all Kenyans will start at birth to ease the issuance of IDs.
The processes that we are going to apply now in terms of identifying who has got an ID, who has not got, is to leverage on the existing data across the board to establish who you are.
And Kenya Airways has partnered with London Metropolitan University to transform aviation education and workforce development in the country. The signing of the deal was witnessed by Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba.
We're encouraging this collaboration because then what it does, it means that our professionals who are graduating and going to work in industry are already completely job ready and they do not need to be retrained.
And so these kind of courses give people options to work in cargo, to work in tourism and trade, and it just opens doors to people to give them other opportunities.
In Kiambu County, close to 200 small-scale traders and business operators in Kiambu Town who lost their businesses after a fire incident last week have received financial support worth 5 million shillings from the county government.
Tuko na gari zingine 3 kwa miezi miwili tutakuwa tumeziongeza, tuwe na gari 11 tayari ziko kwa kule kwa garage, tunamaliza mambo kidogo.
Elsewhere, policymakers in national and county governments are being challenged to develop programs geared towards empowering and supporting women in their economic rebuilding journey post-COVID-19.
Women, especially older women, disabled women, and younger women need to be assured of a certain income. And this brings me to the point of unpaid work. Our mothers and sisters and grandmothers are doing so much work that enables our economies survive.
Meanwhile, musicians from Kisii and Nyamira counties have decried lack of financial benefits from their creative content. The artists are calling on the Kenya Copyright Board to empower them by offering practical strategies to transform their talent into sustainable and profitable ventures.
Have this program to bring that into their perspective so that they can be able to understand how they can be able to commercialize their work.
In Lamu County, the Mkunombi community is calling on the government to intervene in an escalating dispute with a private investor over access to the Indian Ocean. This is after a fisherman was allegedly attacked and beaten up by employees of the investor while returning from a fishing trip.
Fanyaji kazi wake juzi wamempiga mvuvi wetu mmoja paka karibu kumuua, Akompeketoni hospitali, na saa hii leo nasikia safirishwa apelekwa Malindi. Paka sasa toshangaa serikali haijatukua hatua yoyote.
Martini Maslin for Prime Edition.
And now to our weekly Friday segment, starting from Adi Siababa and straight to Modogashe Road challenge. The netizens were surely provided enough fodder for content. The keyboard warriors' reactions to this week's content seem to have cemented the narrative that they take everything with a light heart and funny response. But with savage netizens, there can never be a dull moment. Watch.
The higher you go, the bigger the success, or is it failure? Well, netizens, being the biggest critics, had a lot to say over AUC elections outcome. Take a look.
Dragon motor texting, wow. Dragon motor texting, wow.
The bid for the African Union Commission chairman position served the savage netizens with lots of tasty content. Some optimistic keyboard warriors who rooted for Baba were already counting their chicks before hatching. But how did the voting process go?
Baba aliongoza mara ya kwanza. Ya pili wakasokomana. Ya tatu wakaengage gear 4. Ya nne tukaenda overdrive. Ya tano tukasema sasa ndio hii. Ya sita kaboom. Ya nini?
Shortly after the results announcement, hearts were broken.
Usiweke maneno ya siasa kwa roho tafadhali. Weka kwa lungs. Ndio ukipumua tu after election. Akwenda.
Unfortunately, Addis C. Yababa. But for the Baba's undying heart supporters, there will always be fireworks despite the outcome.
I'm saying categorically, Baba, you win or you lose. There is still fireworks in Kondele. You go, fireworks. You lose, fireworks.
Moving on swiftly, as is the trend on social media realm, the savage netizens got handed a dance challenge by President Ruto. They could not help it but jump on the trend.
Barabara itoke Mandera, ikuje Ramo, ikuje Gari, ikuje Elwak, ikuje Kobo, ikuje pale Kotulo, ikuje Tarbat, ipitie hapa Wajia, iende Samatar, itaremuke Modogashe, ifike Isiolo.
But before the dust could settle, President Ruto himself made a video disputing the claims that he memorizes road names prior to his visit to a region, while assuring Kenyans that that is his mandate as the president.
about this is serious business. I fairly know many places. I would tell you the roads in northern Kenya, the way I would tell you the roads in central Kenya, I would tell you the roads in western Kenya, in many parts of Kenya.
World responded, but Wakenya are happy for the road. Linda, this is serious business. Mna enjoy president because of why?
Bwana, watu si wajinga bwana. Watu si wajinga vile mnadhani.
Erasta's only take is that hakuna mtu anaweza kukubebea koti.
Wool up, nigga. Wool up, wool up, wool up. Just wool up.
Major curiously, tumeungoje sana hii ngoma guys. Beat ikuje haraka. Well Major, here are some beats.
Tulipatana bongo, Mikocheni, kozangu bichi na lopepo wa bahari. Alinipita kama meli, anayumba yumba kidondo sa kishenzi. Oh, Mikocheni, kamfuata utadhani zombie. Habari gani mbona uko lonely? Jina ni gani akasema Zari. Nkamwambia aje, kamwambia kwangu ni kwake.
Well, that's it for us. Catch you next week on Savage Netizens for Easy Friday. I am Teresa Mutai.
Wakidhani tutachana, mina yeye tumeshaivana, na ichapo siku na mchana.
Cheer your favorite team and win big on MeChezoBet.com. Casino, Aviator, and other crash games also available at MeChezobet. Sign up today. This message has been approved by BCLB license number 664. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply.
From the bliss of new beginnings to the trials of commitment, this is a celebration of resilience, passion, and the power of togetherness. Join us as we unravel real-life stories, because every journey deserves to be cherished, for better, for worse, on KBC Channel 1.
We'll be having a conversation of, is there love in the 21st century? Munaeka standards zenye hata your own parents hawajamit. So how do you expect this son of Adam to achieve some standards?
Love is an illusion that becomes reality when there is chemistry of personality. Shortcuts. Sometimes shortcuts are the longest cuts. Kuna kitu inaitwa process. God allowing you to kuwa na 3 P's. 1, promise, 2, process, then provision. Na hapa kwa process, most of us tunapotelea.
In the 21st century, generations may change, but there are ancient patterns that will never change, irrespective of a generational change.
Time for your business news, and Kenya is in talks with Rwanda and other East African countries over importation of petroleum products in a strategic deal to utilize infrastructure in the country. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi says already Kenya Pipeline Company has invested in a 1.3 billion shillings an additional pump at Ngema Pump Station in Nakuru County that is expected to enhance pumping of fuel to Western Kenya and other Eastern African countries.
A second fuel pumping station has officially been commissioned at Ngema Pumping Station in Nakuru County that is expected to increase fuel flow rate from 330 cubic meters per hour to 510 cubic meters per hour on the 14-inch Western Kenya pipeline. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi says the additional capacity is part of the expansion strategy aimed at increasing fuel exports to the East African region.
This increased flow rate is going to help in evacuation of these petroleum products. Okay, as the petroleum products flow from Mombasa to Nairobi, this project has enabled the products to move or to flow concurrently at the same pace to the Western Kenya region.
Kenya has restarted talks with Rwanda about fuel imports through the country.
We'll be seeing Rwanda come on board, Burundi, DRC, South Sudan, we are now at 70%, we want to get them 100%. Uganda are now transporting 100% through our corridor. And this, we want to cement Kenya and Mombasa in that fuel as the gateway of East Africa.
Kenya is also keen on making Kisumu a regional petroleum hub that will service countries in the Eastern and Central African regions.
We are looking at expanded demand for the petroleum products in Western Kenya, especially in Eldoret, Nakuru, and Kisumu stations, and onwards to the Great Lakes region.
Phase 3 of the expansion will see construction of an additional pumping station at Morendat, Naivasha, and Sinendet in the next 4 years to increase capacity flowing to Western Kenya to 757 cubic meters per hour.
It will improve the operational flexibility in our depots of Kisumu, Eldoret, and Nakuru, and thereby reducing the number of trucks that goes all the way to Mombasa to get products. It's an improvement in terms of the flow of the product by over 69%.
The government is championing policy reforms and strengthening cooperative regulations in a bid to enhance accountability in the sector. Cooperatives and MSME's Principal Secretary Patrick Kilemi says the move is geared towards tightening government oversight in the sector that has been faced by financial mismanagement challenges in the recent past.
A fraud scandal at Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives KUSCO to the tune of 13.3 billion shillings exposed weaknesses in the cooperative subsector, which saw the government order forensic audit of all SACCOs to safeguard member savings from financial mismanagement. To further tighten regulations, the Cooperatives Bill 2024, which already passed in the National Assembly, is awaiting Senate approval. Cooperatives Principal Secretary Patrick Kilemi says government is championing for a responsible financial management framework, emphasizing on transparency, accountability, and member engagement.
The government remains steadfast in its commitment to creating a conducive environment for the cooperative sector to thrive. Through policy reforms, enhanced regulation, and capacity building initiative, we aim to strengthen SACCOs to ensure they continue to be reliable financial institutions for millions and millions of Kenyans who are members.
This even as Hazina SACCO leadership welcomed the reforms, saying that the fraud at KUSCO has not affected its operations, but called on the government to hasten recovery of funds.
KUSCO, it is an issue that is being dealt by the government, and of course 4,000 SACCOs had a relationship with KUSCO, but I want to assure you, Hasina member and Hasina as a SACCO, we are safe and we are able to carry our business regardless of what is happening, but I believe again that the government has taken it up.
Frederick Muki for Easy Friday.
Adoption of technology by small and medium-sized enterprises is key in enhancing business growth and sustainability. Industry players say leveraging technology is crucial for efficient data management and protection against cyber threats.
The shift towards digital transactions in online business operations has made it necessary for small and medium-sized enterprises to embrace technology. With most customers now relying on digital platforms for purchases and service delivery, leveraging technology is necessary.
They need to be able to embrace the research that we do, and to the student it's important that they not only think of being employees but being employers.
Convert the ideas into an action to a business. Then from that level of starting, now we come in and support by providing additional capital, by even giving information about how they can leverage on technology, so that now that business can have the roots and grow.
Young entrepreneurs are now being urged to utilize digital marketing strategies, noting that businesses that leverage mobile platforms have higher customer engagement, attracting higher sales.
they're the people who really are driving the digital market. And therefore it is important for us to be able to bring them so that they be able to relate as to what they learn in class and what is actually happening in the marketplace. Remember that SMEs drives about 30% of the Kenyan GDP, and therefore it also gives them an opportunity to think that they should not only be seeking employment, but being employers of the future.
They can be able to leverage on the training or rather on the platforms in a positive way, and for them to be able to grow their businesses.
Trevor Ngendo for Easy Friday.
There is need for dairy processors to enhance collaborations with other value chain players in the agriculture sector to increase milk consumption. Brookside Corporate Communications Manager Wilson Okongo says symbiotic linkages with those in the coffee industry would help expand both domestic and export portfolios for dairy products by positioning milk as a perfect nutrition addition to coffee. Okongo was speaking during the African Coffee Trade Fair organized by local exporter Jabali Coffee Company in Nairobi. The government is exploring ways to reduce the cost of certified seeds for staples such as maize as a way of reducing the cost of food production. Agriculture Principal Secretary Paul Rono says talks have been initiated with seed companies targeting to have the issue tackled as soon as possible. Rono was speaking in Kericho during the unveiling of 210 youth agripreneurs who will train farmers on modern farming practices.
Sitting down with Kenya Seeds and all the seed providers to make sure that we bring the price to a manageable, affordable level within the next 2 weeks. For the basic, we have had you.
Our expectation in the department as we lead this process with the entrepreneurs is that we will release you today to go and work with the farmers.
Kuna Probox kwa star 570 hash. Cheza sasa hivi, jipatie entry ticket ya kuingia kwenye draw ya kujishindia gari hili, ikiwa ni star 570 hash option 2, 3 na 4, au ingia kwa www.tushinde.com, register, deposit na ucheze. Ikawa ni yako. Cheza wakati wowote na ucheze mara kadhaa ili kujaza entry ticket zako kwenye draw ya ushindi. Inuka na Loto Moto.
Can get you to Kai's good side.
Wewe unaona nini nikiwa swara aje?
Really, you can be that careless even after what you've gone through.
I think we need to cool off.
This obsession you have with Kekara is going to get you killed.
Your daughter is more trouble than you realize.
I forbid you from going to that old man's compound.
Unaona hii tabia yako ya babako imekufanya mpaka you are not even thinking straight.
Please don't try bring a dead man into this conversation.
I didn't think you would have the guts to face me after your betrayal.
Yeah, but you didn't give me any choice.
You were hired to do one thing.
Call me one more time and I'll cut ties with you.
Things are getting tight.
Tell your daughter.
Try me, Kekara.
What? Moto.
Daniel Wahomen, welcome to Easy Friday Sports. Now, the national women's soccer team, the Harambee Starlets, were held to a goalless draw by Tunisia in the first leg of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Harambee Starlets had lots of chances which they failed to utilize, with Mwana Halima Adams' first-half efforts coming to naught. They sprang to life again as the match was coming to a close, but they could not break the North Africans, who seemed happy with the stalemate. The stage is now set for an intense return leg on the 26th of this month in Tunis. Both teams will be looking to secure a spot in the next round, where the winner will face either Niger or Gambia in October. The eventual victor will continue their pursuit for a place in the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations finals in Morocco. Crozon Okwino, who spoke after the match, said luck was not on their side, but they will rise again as Beldin Odemba ruled the missed chances, despite the team's determination to come out victorious. Sports Principal Secretary Engineer Peter Tum, who was flanked by FKF President Hussein Mohamed, added that they will continue working together to ensure seamless operations of the national teams as they prepare for various assignments.
Huenda hii ikapiana matumaini. Ruth Ingosi wanakuja, mechi yatamatika kutoka uwanja wa Ulinzi Complex.
When you watch the game, those of you who are there throughout from the beginning, they did a good job. And from the training that we've had, from the preparations that they have had, we are quite happy.
Nafikiria tutatia bidii katika ile preparations za wasichana. Already tumeona imekuwa matokeo sio mbaya sana, lakini kuna room for improvement, and I'm sure the team will do better next time.
We played well. We were tactical against them. You could see that we could still use our wings. We used the wings. We got a lot of chances. It's only that we did not take our chances.
The match was not easy, and it was not tough at all again. So we still have 90 minutes to make it happen. We've done it before, and I'm sure we'll do it again.
We have a good player, 4 players, number 40, number 9, number 70, and number 21 is technical. Player is good the team. With player number 2 is a good player.
And 67 golfers have made the cut to play in the final 2 rounds of the 2025 Magical Kenya Open. And for the second year running, no local golfer will be in the running for a share of the prize fund of 320 million shillings. England's John Parry, who was joined top after round 1, had a round of 6 under par 65 to lead the field on 14 under par 128. Frenchman Benjamin Hebert is second on 13 under par 129, while South Africa's Jaden Scupper is third on 9 under par 133. Remember, no Kenyan golfer made the cut. Rounds 3 and 4 will be played on Saturday and Sunday, with the eventual winner taking home 54.38 million Kenya shillings. Yeah, some of the reactions from the Kenyan golfers who played at the tournament.
Myself, everybody was coming to make a cut. Actually, myself, I was on form. I was in South Africa. I played well. I was in Rwanda. I won. I played well. But I think what in Kenya, in this Kenya Open, it's all about pleasure, nothing else.
Honest, there's a lot of work to be done there. I think we could have a lot more support, especially throughout the year. Especially last year, only having one professional event after Kenya Open coming in December. So I definitely do think all of us could do better in that aspect.
And it will be an historic moment tomorrow when triple Olympic 1500-meter champion and world record holder Faith Kipyegon takes on the 10-kilometer world record holder Agnes Jebet Ngetich in the senior women's 10-kilometer race tomorrow during the 4th edition of the Sirikwa Classic World Cross Country Tour at the Lobo Village in Kapseret, Eldoret City. Speaking during today's press conference in Eldoret, Kipyegon said she is excited to return to Sirikwa, where she began her 2023 season before claiming double gold at the World Athletics Championships. Kipyegon said she'll be using tomorrow's event to kickstart her season, where she is targeting to debut in the 10,000 meters. The fastest half marathoner Agnes Jebet said she's prepared for a good race, which will also be an historic moment for her to run against her icon Kipyegon. The two will face off against a host of local and foreign athletes led by Africa 3,000 meters steeplechase champion Lois Chepkemoi. From Uganda, the reigning 5,000-meter bronze medalist Jacob Krop will headline the men's 10 km field, which will also feature 2022 World 10,000-meter silver medalist Stanley Mboro, former World Under-20 silver medalist Leonard Bett, Kenneth Kiprop, and Martin Kiprotich, who are both from Uganda, and Kemi Kimutai, who's running with a USA passport. Meet Director Barnaba Koril revealed that the Federation is using the event to prepare for the World Athletics Championship bid after losing the 2025 one to Tokyo.
events, and it really helps. Since I saw the changes after I competed Sirikwa Classic in 2023, and I saw like you can balance both endurance and speed. It's only that you need to do more endurance to just keep up with that speed during the track season.
I'll be running a cross country like a build up, so looking forward for 2025 season and expecting more in track, like in World Championship plus Grand Slam track. So in Sirikwa, it's a part of build up as I'm looking forward for the season. And I hope this season will be good.
Prepare for this season. So my expectation also, this is Sirikwa cross country. It acts like my build-up for track. So my expectation also for World Championship is to do the best in World Championship. Yeah.
We are hoping that in the future we'll be considered for more events, more activities, and it's not only athletes competing. We have also spectators, interested families who are coming to watch the athletes. You know, they always watch on TV. Now we have even Faith, all that. We have Agnes, we have Kirop. You know, you can imagine.
Now, Kenya Lioness head coach Dennis Mwanja has named a squad that will travel to South Africa for the Cape Town legs of the World Rugby Sevens Challenger Series. The Lioness, who will be captained by Grace Okulu, are playing in the Challenger Series as a qualification pathway to the Sevens World Series. Lioness have been drawn in Pool D of the first of two Cape Town legs of the World Rugby Sevens Challenger Series, scheduled for the 1st and 2nd of March 2025. Kenya will face Samoa in the opening pool match, followed by a clash with Poland. The top teams in the four pools will qualify for the Cup semis, while the rest will get into playoffs for position ranking. Speaking after announcing the squad that travels to South Africa for the event, head coach Dennis Mwanja said they will make the best of the knowledge they have picked from playing their opponents.
I would say it's a very unforgiving format because you don't get a chance to make it if you don't finish one or two.
We have played with both teams before. We played against Poland in Krakow, and they're a good opponent. It's going to be a tough match, but we have been really working out for our loose ends.
Grace Okulu will captain the squad that includes Sheila Chajira, Faith Livoy, and Sinaida Mokaya. Meanwhile, the men's sevens team Shuja are in Pool A of the Vancouver leg of the World Rugby Sevens Series. They face defending champions Argentina at midnight and Olympic champions France at 5 a.m. They play the final pool match tomorrow against Great Britain at 10:55 p.m. And the entry list for the WRC Safari Rally Kenya has been confirmed by the FIA and includes 10 top Rally 1 cars and 16 WRC 2 cars, while the reigning Africa Rally champion Karan Patel, Carl Flash Tundo, Hamza Anwar and Jeremiah Ohome will fly the Kenyan flag. The World Rally champion Thierry Neuville headlines the Hyundai Motorsport entry, hoping to break the Kenyan jinx, and will be joined by Oit Tanak and Adrian Formoe in the team's I-20 and Rally 1 attack. The Toyota Gazoo racing team is determined to maintain their stronghold in the WRC Safari Rally, having won the last 4 events, with their current leader, Elvin Evans, and 2-time Safari Rally winner, Carlen Rovanpera, Takamoto Kapsuta, and UB Sami Payari. M Sport Ford will fill Gregor Munster and Josh McIllen and Jordan Shedderidis in the Puma Rally 1 cars. Reigning WRC 2 champion Oliver Solberg will be back in a Toyota GR2 Yaris, while Kaitan Kaitanovic, better known as Kaito, and Gus Greensmith, Jan Solans, and FIA Junior WRC regular Diego Dominguez and Paraguay's Falls Alvidar will be in action. WRC Safari Kenya, which is the first gravel round of the FIA World Rally Championship, will be held from the 20th to the 23rd of this March in Nairobi and Naivasha. And not so good news, the Kenya men's basketball team, the Morans, were forced to forfeit today's opening match against Tunisia at the FIBA Afro-Basket qualifiers due to logistical problems. The Kenya Morans were unable to arrive in time for the opening match in Libya after they failed to get connecting flights to Tripoli, according to a statement from the Kenya Basketball Federation. They later managed to secure a chartered flight following the intervention of the Kenyan government through the Ministry of Sports and have already left for Libya. The Kenya national men's basketball team will now have to focus on the remaining Group E matches, where they're scheduled to play against 11-time Afrobasket champions and tournament hosts Angola before they complete their assignment against Guinea, whom they beat in the previous qualifiers. The teams are battling for a spot in the 2025 FIBA Afrobasket slated for Angola on the 12th to the 24th of August this year.
The ball is in. Keith is going to fire up the three. Not this time. Nobody inside the three-point line for a rebound in a white shirt. Wisuba given the space. They've gone right under the screen and he makes them pay. Possession arrow favouring Guinea, but the pass is not a very good one. And a chance for Kenya to run. Too strong. Oh, what a follow from Odero. Well, this one very much a game of runs here.
And the UEFA Champions League holders Real Madrid will meet Atletico Madrid in an all-Spanish affair in the last 16. Following today's draw, Bayern Munich, meanwhile, will face Bayer Leverkusen in an all-German affair, while Liverpool have a date with Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal will play against PSV Eindhoven of the Netherlands, while Barcelona will play against Benfica of Portugal. The two-legged ties will kick off on the 4th of this match this year. Meanwhile, Paulo Dybala's. And that's the sport for tonight. So tomorrow, lots to keep up. And for the insomniacs, the early birds, and those who combine the two, Shuja are playing at midnight against Argentina and at 5 a.m. against France in Vancouver. And there's lots of sports to cover tomorrow. But it's an easy Friday, so DJ Cole Jacks has got Johnny Gill telling us, my, to get going. Back to you, Doreen.
That's all the time we had for you this Friday night. We appreciate you, viewers, for joining us and making time for us tonight. Time for me to now exit. Sit ground for the next program. This has been Easy Friday. Good night. I'm Doreen Arange, and Wangeshi has been our sign language interpreter.
Shilingi 1000. Toka kwa hiyo sanduku.